Om yo brahmanam vidadhati purvam yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tangha devam atma buddhi prakasham mumukshur vai sharanamaham prapadye. Whose light reveals the knowledge of the Atman, who first creates the cosmic soul and delivers to him the supreme knowledge, desirous of emancipation, I seek refuge in that effulgent being. Good morning. This morning, the title of the talk is Peeling Back the Layers, Discovering the Shining Soul. So actually, I was thinking about an incident. Long ago, probably in our monastery, probably in Alam Bazar or maybe Baranagar Math, one monk asked about another monk, about somebody else, a third monk. What is he doing now? So the reply was that the second monk replied, he is peeling away the layers. So, interesting, actually the monk was meditating. He was not cutting the vegetables, he was meditating. And why he told like that? Once Sri Ramakrishna gave that kind of example with meditation. It's like an onion. If you want to remove that skin one by one, at the end you will reach somewhere. So, actually, the word for upasana, probably you have heard the word upasana. Upasana means, in English, very difficult to say, some kind of worship, meditation, contemplation. So, the upasana has two words. One is upa, another part is asana. Sitting near of something. So upasana really means sitting in front of, near to the noble thoughts, your chosen deity, God. So sitting there. So it means that you have to go inside, leaving your outer shells, just like an onion. One by one. But in the onion, at the end you will find nothing is there. You first remove the first skin, first layer, second layer, third layer, at the end nothing is there. But is it nothing is there? Now winter is coming. I think if you heard about Swami Vedanta ji, Vedanta ji was a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. So, a Nuara Brahman, but at Sri Ramakrishna told that Nuara Brahman, they act like in different ways. Sometimes they act like a child. So, whenever he used to visit Belur Math, our headquarters, from Allahabad, the monks, the younger monks, would see that the Swami, while maybe he just came by train from Allahabad to Howrah, entered his room, and slowly he started removing one by one his layers. Layers means first a big, short kind of al-khalla that reaches up to almost your feet. Then one by one. So that winter is coming. We are also we are going to also face the same kind of phase. Removing one by first jacket, then that one. But at the end, you will be there. It is not that nothing is there. So again comes actually what I really am. Who am I? So with removing shards, do you reach your innermost core or only your skin? So there in Vedanta, we called that Shuddhi of you are that. That is the one of the Mahavakyas, the principal saying that is we get from in Upanishads. So you are that. So we call Shodhana. So tvat tvam asi. Tat that tvam you asi. You are. So now you think upon, you just uttered a word. What is that? Now you have to peel away all those ideas that you have already in your mind, preoccupied thoughts, preoccupied ideas that you hear from lectures, you read from book, you heard from your parents, maybe from teachers, all the preoccupied ideas. You have to think yourself in your own way. So we are trying to today understand what that monk was actually thinking. Sitting in the monastery, what he was doing, closing his eyes, we will try. And I hope today that some part of those thoughts we can discuss. Later in some, if we get a chance, we can discuss furthermore. So it may be the first part of all those discussion. So actually finding yourself, we have to find out what is extra in you. No, what we really are, that we cannot remove. What we can remove, that is extra. What is our own essence, we cannot remove that. Like yesterday, it was Saturday, and we have a Karma Yoga day. So many volunteers, they came and trying to clean our rooms here in the society. Somebody helping outside, cleaning the wastage. I want to say extra things. They collected all those things and put in the trash. In the room, somebody was cleaning all those carpets and the chairs and all those things, and they are collecting all the waste thing. And again, what was waste? What was extra? So when we clean ourselves, we have to clean some extra things. That is not we really. So what will happen? You will feel the freshness. Air will come, fresh air will come. That suffocation will go. So as we have an outer home, we have an inner home also. We forget that as we generally clean our outer home, we have to clean our inner home also. So for a better mental health. It's a physical health, you need a clean room, and inner room, you will get a better understanding, a clean mind. So, and what we have to do again and again. And on a regular practice we have to do. It's not like only Saturday, last Saturday we have done. Not we need not any cleaning next 1 year. Not like that. We have to do in a regular basis. So that's why generally when you get instruction from your teacher or guru, they generally say, at least if you are too much busy, at least try to sit, contemplate at least morning and evening. It will help to clean your mind. Just in daily chores of life, we generally accumulate some extra things. We order online, and they deliver us. What they deliver? The thing, the packet, sellotapes, many things. So what you do? You generally collect the thing that you wanted, and you throw away the extra things. So in our daily basis, we talk with you, we go in the office, we take classes, many places. And we also accumulate some extra things, packets. We have to throw away all those extra things. So actually, so that monk, what he was doing, meditating, and he wanted to find out what is extra in me. So Swamiji used to say that our mind is like a book, and we must develop the habit of reading it. Many things is going on here. So today we will to find out some of the discussion related to our mind. It's a curious fact that we, the man, we all he, the man, we are all the person, all his pretensions to knowledge does not know himself. We know many things, but we do not know ourselves. On the contrary, he has a mistaken notion of himself. Problem is, we do not know what we really want. This is the misconception about us. Although an embodied being, he is not aware of the indwelling self, but is identified with the body, the dwelling. He thinks of himself and every other individual in terms of the physical appearance. First mistake that we do. We think as the body, the appearance. We rely on appearance. And with the appearance, we try to regulate our conversation, our behavior, our manner, our way of talking, everything. Just appearance. And that is the reason, if you depend on appearance too much, ignoring the real thing, you're bound to do mistakes. First thing. So we have to understand, go inside the appearance. And it is not just a case of blissful ignorance. We pay heavily for our misconception of ourselves. All our bondages and sufferings stem from this. We too much concentrate on appearance, the outer form. Ridden by the body idea, he ascribes to himself the attributes of the body. He thinks that he is born, that he grows, that he decays and he dies, that he has hunger and thirst, and he is subject to heat and cold, that he is young or old, dark or fair, tall or short, slim or stout, well or ill, that he is a man distinct from woman. If he is a man, he thinks of himself, I am different from a woman. We remember a monk who was admitted in a hospital. So another monk from our monastery went to see him. Swami, how are you? And though he was in his deathbed, he always, with a smile, with a glow in his face, used to say, "Bhalo achi. I am good." So this is the practice, whole life practice. When he was talking about "I am good," he is not identifying himself with his body or mind. I remember I was visiting last year a place. A little boy, probably 8 or 9 years old, he was quite thoughtful. So his father, his father told me, "Swami, he want to ask a question." And some little kids, sometimes they show little shyness. I was a stranger for him. But seeing this ochre cloth and all those things, he understood being a monk. So as he is a monk, I can ask some question. So then father told, "Okay, do you want me to present your question to the Swami on behalf of you?" With a shyful face, he told, "Yes." So his father told, so his question is that sometimes I became angry, I became worried, I became anxious. So how I can handle that, all those, the change in your mind? So that was his question. So first thing, he was a nice boy, a thoughtful boy, 7, 8 like that. He is already, he knew that being angry, being anxious is not a sign of a good mental health. So I told, how to say, you cannot say Vedanta, na? You cannot quote from Upanishad, or just I told, okay, for the time being, you may keep your mind that you were not angry. Your mind was angry. You were not anxious. Your mind was anxious. So you are a very nice boy, nice guy. So it's your mind and that is disturbing. So you see, immediately, only little bit of this idea that gives you so much confidence, so much joy, when you separate, no, with you and what is extra, what is iron and what is rust. We have to remove the rust time to time. That I am trying to discuss today, and in various ways. So again, so when we identify with our body, again some insight we can find. You see, when we identify ourselves with sense organs, we yearn for self-fulfillment also. But where? In sense plane. No, everyone we want self-fulfillment. So when you identify yourself with the body, you want that fulfillment in bodily plane, sense plane. No? When you identify yourself, maybe sometimes mind, so what you love, you also try to get that fulfillment by listening a music, no? Listening or reading a good book. Because, why? Just think about that. So when you are wants fulfillment with your body, you want a maybe nice bed, nice sofa, or maybe a nice or beautiful garment, maybe. But when you are thinking about your mind, you want to feed the mind something good, something healthy. So this body, this mind, actually a psychophysical vehicle of the self. In Upanishad, sometimes we get this example of chariot. No? So this body is like a chariot. And there is mind, there is buddhi, the intellect. They are presenting like the horse, the horses, the rain, all those things. So anything, first thing we have to understand, it's just a vehicle. We are riding in a vehicle. Real I is inside. Sometimes in our scriptures, in two ways, they discuss about the outer shell. Sometimes they give example, they talk about threefold bodies and fivefold sheaths. We cannot discuss today the whole thing. The first thing I will try to discuss today, that we have a threefold body and fivefold sheath. So about the sheath, that body means that the gross body, the mental body, and the causal body. And about the fivefold sheath, there are Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha. So kosha means sheath. So Annamaya means this physical, that one sheath, and then come mental sheath, vital sheath, then mental sheath, then intellectual sheath, and then comes the Anandamaya, the blissful sheath. And why sheath? So you can search in your dictionary. Sheath means that covers a knife, a blade, or a sword. So how interesting. When they thought about that, they thought about a sword. Real you is like a sword. That with that you can cut all those bondages, all those ties that want to bring you down. So when we have a knowledge of that sword, real selves, you can cut through to every obstacles. So anyhow, today we will discuss about the threefold body. So besides the physical body, the outstanding factor of human personality, every individual has two more bodies, the subtle and the causal, which are more potent though invisible. We too much rely upon our body, but if you think really, that is the two invisible two bodies are more potent. Actually, we get energy, joy, everything from there. But that is our ignorant. The three bodies make up man's psychophysical constitution, while the physical body is the outermost, the causal body is the innermost of the three. It is through the physical body that we contact the external world. Indeed, the three bodies serve respectively as the mediums of man's threefold daily experience: waking, dream, and dreamless sleep. Actually, we do not think much. There is a beautiful way that when you discuss about that fivefold sheath, so we called in Sanskrit Pancha Kosha Vichara. Pancha means five, Kosha means seeds, Vichara, you want to discern, you want to think on that, contemplate on that. And this one called Avasthatraya Vichara. Think about what is happening with you. In waking state, we generally think a lot about our waking state. We do not think much about in dream state. We do not think about the dreamless state. When we start thinking, you will get insight. So actually this waking state, only a little part of your personality. We are so busy with that. But to get a complete picture, you have to delve into the dream state and the dreamless state also. What is happening with you? So we generally, with this physical body, we contact the external world. The physical body is so predominant in our consciousness that we assume it to be the only body that man has, a person has, and ignore the other two, which cannot be perceived by the sense organs. An individual leaves the gross body at death and becomes reincarnate in another, but he retains the same subtle and the same causal body all alone until he attains final liberation in oneness with Brahman. Being identified with the physical body more or less, the individual soul, the experiencer within, experiences the external world. This is his waking state. When he recedes from the physical body, as in dream and deep sleep, he loses all contact with the outside world and does not miss it even. When I read this part, so really, we are so much involved in your waking state about our body. When we go to sleep, we do not miss our body. No? Sometimes we call, I miss you. Sometimes we talk about that, I miss you. So when you are sleeping, a deep sleep, we not at all miss our body. A few days we are talking about somebody in our, I think, Tuesday or Thursday class. All of our has the same problem. We have a fear. It is inherent in us. Which is not inherent, it is very prominent in us. A fear to die. What will happen? But daily, you are going through the same experience. Daily. So there is beautiful terms. The Dainandin Pralaya. Pralaya means dissolution. Dissolution. We have in every religion, we have that idea of Pralaya. The last day will come. Everything will come. So not our last day. Every day you can think like that. A dissolution. Every day. But still we never thought about that. So, and does not miss it even. We do not miss our families, we do not miss our relatives, even we do not miss our bodies even. So says Shankara, know this gross body to be like a house to the householder, or which rests man's entire dealing with the external world. Like it's an office. You have 3 offices. No, 3 offices. So here you you are maintaining your correspondence with the external world, waking state only. So maybe when you go to sleep, you have to sit in another office. So think about that also. So when you want to leave something, when you understand it is extra, you have to see why it is extra. Otherwise we cannot. Sometimes we have seen our mothers in a family. Many of us, I have also that kind of habit a little bit. Vidyasagara, the Shivarchanananda Vidyasagara, that you can find that name, a great social reformer. Of India, Sri Ramakrishna met him. So there is a story when he became little elderly, that sometimes his grandchildren used to tease him. Oh, grandpa, what kind of habit you have? You do not throw away anything. You keep everything, a rope, a packet, anything package, you have everything stored in the house. So what kind of habit you have? Some of has that kind of habit. We do not want to throw away. Who knows? Anytime we may need that. So that kind of habit we have. So when you throw it, before that you think a lot. Oh, I think it is now last 1 year or 2 years, I never used it. So it means remaining part of our life, I may not want this one. I may not need this. Now we can throw. So before you throw something, you need little bit of contemplation, little discernment. So that's why in the scriptures we will find they talk a lot about your physical body also. Look at the body. What is that? So the physical body serves as the medium of waking experience. So does the subtle body serve as the medium of dream experience, and the causal body as the medium of dreamless sleep. The 5 organs of perception. We have 5 organs of perception and 5 organs of action. So Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. So what is 5 organs of perception? The ears, the skin, the eyes, the tongue, the nose. It is the Jnanendriya. And the 5 organs of action, that is the organ of speech, the hands, the feet, the organs of evacuation and procreation. So sometimes I used to think for a long time, why they gave this name, and that the 5 organs of perception and 5 organs of action. We could say that 10 organs, that Dashendriya, sometimes we talk about Dashendriya. So we will find there are 2 aspects. They thought well on that. When we perceive something, first you perceive that the cognition, that part comes first. Then comes action. So these 5 organs actually helps you to perceive something. First, with our ears, with our skin, our eyes, the tongue and nose. What is that? Like you have eaten a bitter something, maybe bitter gourd, though we love that. So a bitter gourd or that neem leaves, it has a medicinal value. So when you put in your tongue, first you realize it is bitter. Then you decide to chew it or throw it. No, so first comes cognition, then comes action. So that's why one part, later I hope we can discuss. So think well. So one part is action of buddhi, intellect. Intellect deals with that cognition first. And mind, like his subordinate employee, he takes action. It takes action. Okay. So first thing, 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action by which we deal with external world and evidently located in the physical body. That we can see, all those things. But these bodily organs are not the real organs. The real organs are invisible and belong to the subtle body, but they operate through their physical counterparts, the bodily organs, which are their outer stations. It is to be noted that the organ of touch extends all over the body, whereas every other sense organs has a particular location. So it says that the real organs, it is the outer stations, all those things, something here in the brain, inside. Somewhere. A few days back, maybe we need not to believe. Somehow I found 2 young kids. They, when they are blindfolded, they can read, and they can identify color, who is standing before them. Interesting. So I do not know the science behind it, but their trainer told that it is, I have covered only outer stations, but there are inside, the real organs are inside. That is not covered by the cloth, piece of cloth. So they developed that exercise, how to use that inner organs, irrespective of these outer stations. So it is a different point of discussion, but this is the Vedanta also says like that the real organs are invisible and along with the subtle body, but they operate through their physical counterparts, the bodily organs, which are their outer stations. So the physical body, Shankara told about this body, composed of 7 ingredients: marrow, bone, flesh, fat, flesh, blood, skin, and consisting of the following limbs and their parts: legs, thighs, the chest, arms and back, and the head. This body, the seat of delusion, proclaimed as I and mine, it is designated by the sages as the gross body. In Vedanta Chudamani, Shankara says, just explained what we have. This physical body has been conceived as a city with a number of gates, within which dwells Atman, the self, its ruler. As the ruler is distinct from the city, so is Atman distinct from the body. Just as the ruler is responsible for the corporate life of the city, so is Atman responsible for the direction and the coordination of the different functions of the body and the organs. Just as the city collapses when its ruler deserts it, so the body corrupts when Atman departs from it. The Katha Upanishad says about the city with 11 gates, that the organs, all those organs, 11 gates. But in Gita, we get a different opinion. It says about 9 gates, means 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, all those things. And Upanishad added the navel and the we call Brahmarandra, a crown in our head. There is also a way to from where the yogis leave their body. The yogis. So, but Gita just the Gita without mentioning that too, it says that we have 9 gates. Navadvare pure dehi. That was the verse in Bhagavad Gita. So now let us try to give some points, some logics, why we are not the body. Now, when you sat in meditation, you thought well about your body. Now you have to go beyond that. For that, you have to face some logics. So there are some beautiful logics. The materialistic position that man is but the body is not sound, they say. The idea that a person is only their body and that consciousness comes solely from physical process is difficult to defend. Actually, Charvakas, in ancient age, the materialists in ancient India, we call Charvaks. Sometimes they call that, to explain that word, they call Charu Vaks. Some says like that. Charu means who talks beautiful thing, apparently pleasing. Enjoy this world, because you do not know what will happen after death. There is no existence. So this is your sole existence. Enjoy. Sri Ramakrishna, once he was visiting a devotee's house. He was poor, Devendranath Majumdar. So Sri Ramakrishna just out of affection told him, please, your condition is not so good. Don't that misuse your money. So then Devendra Majumdar, just with a smile in his face, he told, Rinang kritva ghritang pibet. So if you want to eat that clarified butter, ghee is a very nice thing in India. Even if you do not money, you just borrow that clarified butter and eat it, enjoy. So rinang kritva ghritang pribet. If you do not money, just ask the shopkeeper, please give me some. Afterwards I will pay you. So it is called rina. So they have that kind of flowery language. Enjoy this world. You need not to think about your merits and demerits, pap and punna. You need not to think about it. Don't think about sin. Don't think about that. Just enjoy this world. So many of people, we love that kind of attitude. Do that, you have. But it leaves the fundamental question regarding the origin and development of a living organism unanswered. First question, first objection. What is it that unifies the physical elements into a coherent system so as to make it live and grow according to a certain pattern? So what is the thing? First question against my objection. So you are the body, okay. So you have consciousness. In body it produces consciousness. So tell me the first question that just we talk about 2 hand, 2 ear, the bone, everything, the bone, the marrow, everything. So all these things only matter. So somebody you need who will decide, who will plan the pattern. Thus, there will 5 fingers, and first it will that a baby when he became a full-grown man. So that should be his shape. There's a pattern in your body, no? Human. So who will decide that? Surely, inert material elements cannot join together for concerted action. Since lifeless, dull, insentient physical objects cannot have any plan of their own. Purposiveness implies consciousness. If a purpose, why I am to earn money, why to maintain our elders, our parents, why to have a family, why? Who is deciding that? So some purpose is there. So God relation is different issue, different point. But before that, all of us, we decide to do something. We buy a house. We have a purpose to buy a house. To buy a car. We have a purpose to buy a car. Who? So purposiveness implies consciousness. The very existence of a living organism presupposes consciousness, explicit or implicit, as its guiding principle. That which fashions the material form, develops, animates, and cognizes it too must be something different from it. As we talk about a city, of 11 gates or 9 gates, whatever you believe. So somebody, the ruler, who is controlling that city is different from the city. No? So ruler of the city and the kingdom, or a ruler of a kingdom and the kingdom are different. The person, we live in this house, so I and my house are different. So that which fashions the material form, develops, animates, must be something different from it. This is the non-material luminous self whose substance is consciousness. The initial need of a living process is consciousness. You want that consciousness. Kapila, the founder of the great philosopher, he wrote, the building of the body, the seat of experience, is due to the presence of the indwelling experiencer. Otherwise, its decomposition would result. We have seen when something leaves the body, so the body started decomposition. Somebody is there. So it's a logic that we are not mere the body. From the fact that every individual regards himself or herself as the body, the materialists of ancient India, called Charvakas, maintained like the materialists of modern times. They used to say, they have 3 points to say. The very body is the self. This body is the self. And that consciousness derives from the body. The consciousness comes from this body. Why? They used to give an example. You see, interesting. You have to face all those things. Just as the intoxicating property of liquor comes out of fermentation of rice, molasses, etc., even though it is not found in any of these ingredients, similarly, consciousness, though absent from all the 4 elements, that is, air, fire, water, and earth, yet emerges from their intermixture in the process of forming the body. They have beautiful examples. In a liquor, in rice or molasses, they do not have that fermenting, that kind of quality. But where from that intoxicating, that kind of, it comes? So it is a logic. So, and they talk about that 4, that air, the air, fire, water, and earth. Probably you have noticed, they never mention about Akasha. We have 5 elements. So here also interesting thing to know. They do not believe in Akasha. Why? Through sense organ, we do not perceive Akasha. So they believe only this body. Whatever my sense organ perceive, I believe on that, nothing else. So that was that. They also argued that such manifestations of consciousness as knowledge, will, memory, etc., are not noticeable anywhere but in the physical body. So there must be its distinctive, unique qualities. Okay. This is also a great point. That this knowledge, will, memory, we do not see in the insentient thing. Not chair does not have a memory, chair does not have will. So, but here in the body it is there. So body, it produces consciousness. So I hope you get it. So this will, memory is here, not there. So must have consciousness in the body only, not outside of the body. Now Shankara. Acharya, he is just brilliant. Shankara, the great Advaitic teacher, the Vedantic teacher, he one by one giving answer. I found the young boy, how he thought like that. First, it is absurd to regard the body as the self, because consciousness is not its intrinsic quality like form, size, color, and so forth. These endure as long as the body lasts, whereas consciousness disappears at death. First, all right, we are talking about all those things, will, memory. So, but this body has a form, has a size, has a weight, and color. So they are not like that. So we find in a dead body, if you will find a color, you will find a shape, form, etc., size, etc. But where is consciousness? You are saying in the body produces that consciousness? First point. Number 2, then again, properties of the body, such as again form, size, and color, are perceived by others, whereas manifestations of consciousness such as knowledge, will, and memory are not. Therefore, this cannot be classed with physical characteristics. Yes, form, size, color. Anybody else, a second person, they can perceive. But why they do not perceive your consciousness? So you cannot keep consciousness with that will, memory, and all those things with your body. No? So everyone, I can see you, I can measure your weight, I can measure your height, I can do, a second person can do. But I, as a second person, cannot perceive your consciousness. So, second. Further, one may pertinently ask what is the exact nature of that consciousness imagined by the materialists to be arising from the physical element. It cannot be other than material, because the Charvakas recognize only the existence of matter and its modification. Now, if such consciousness be inherent in the body, it cannot objectify the body. So first thing, because a thing cannot operate on itself. So first point, he told that, okay, you are materialists, so the consciousness you are thinking about, what kind of thing it would be? It must be a matter. Because you support that everything is only matter only. So you believe consciousness also a matter. Now, if such consciousness be inherent in the body, it cannot objectify the body, because a thing cannot operate on himself. A consciousness cannot operate on consciousness. Maybe in somewhere when we discuss about that 5 seeds, they talk about at the last moment when they are talking about Anandamaya Kosha, the blissful seed, they talk about same thing. You see that sweetness, bitterness. Sweetness cannot operate on sweetness. Means, what we want to say, that sugar, if we taste sugar, we'll get sweetness. So, you cannot add sweetness of sugar on sugar. Do you get it? Means, the sugar that we get tasting molasses, it's unique sweetness. The sweetness you get from sugar, tasting sugar, is different from the sweetness that you get from tasting a molasses is different. So you cannot add both the thing. So it will not give a different third result, not a uniqueness. Means if you add molasses into sugar, it will add sweetness, but it will become a third kind of sweetness. It is not like molasses sweetness, it's not like a sugar, the sweetness from sugar. Or maybe another example you can give. A fire cannot consume a fire. I think it is easier one. A fire cannot consume fire. A fire can consume chair, table, wood, everything. Or funny thing, he told, even the most expert dancer cannot climb his own shoulders. Shankara. He was, I think, full of humor also. He told, standing on my shoulder, I cannot dance. You need at least 2 things. So consciousness must be different from the body. Thus it goes on. There are some another point from the plain truth is that insentient material elements cannot produce consciousness, which is self-luminous and hence of contrary nature. If you think other logics, if you think about that it came from matter, so this consciousness, the force, we have to consider as a chemical force or physical force. So if it is a matter, it bound to came from it. If you say it came from this air, fire, all those things. So you have to consider, you have to admit that this force, consciousness, will act as a just ordinary physical forces. So you have, they will follow. They have to follow all those regulation that outer forces, physical forces have. Number one, can generate these chemical actions can generate physical glow like flame of an oil lamp or the spark out of flint. Though radiant, neither has the self-luminosity of consciousness. If you think about when we sit for meditation, we sometimes think about the light of a lamp. No? Sometimes we think like that, our inner self. But then also you have to go further. Is it exact like a fire that comes from a lamp or a bulb is just same like consciousness? The flame of consciousness is the same kind of thing? No. Why? Though radiant, neither has the self-luminosity of consciousness. Physical glow is not aware of itself or of anything else. It is dark blind. Being of the same nature as unintelligent matter, it cannot objectify matter. No material product, howsoever refined or resplendent it may be, can lose its inherent materiality or unconsciousness. I was thinking just how to explain that. Simply, I thought about as Isaac Newton. Said Isaac Newton reading the papers, the scientific papers reading. And maybe a oil lamp was burning. And this, the lamp, however, could not understand a word written on those papers. But for to read, to understand all those papers, you need a Isaac Newton. No? So it shows there is a difference between that ordinary material light. It cannot objectify a matter. But for that, you need a conscious being. It can be only the object of cognition and never the subject, the cognizer. The source of consciousness must be something other than the bodily process. This is Atman, the luminous self, the cognizer of the psychophysical organism. So Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it says, he is never seen, but it is the witness. He is never heard, but is the hearer. He is never thought, but is the thinker. He is never known, but is the knower. So all those things we have discussed about our physical body. There are many things can be discussed. I mean, from where is that mind resides? In the heart or brain? It's a different discussion. We'll try to figure out in some other day. But let us talk a little bit of as causal, our mental body and causal body a little bit. Then we'll try to again find out what the monk was thinking about. So the other word for subtle body is Sukshma Sharira. It is a gross body that Annamaya or or Annamaya Kosha, we talk about Annamaya Kosha. So composed of the same 5 gross elements as the physical universe, the physical body is perceptible by the sense organs. But not so the subtle body, which is composed of the 5 subtle elements in their rudimentary, uncompounded state. We call Panchikarana. There is a word Panchikarana that these rudimentary matters, they mix with them, intermix, and they create this outer external world. The Shankara says, the subtle body, the means of the jiva's experience of the results of his karma, consists of the 5 pranas, the 10 organs, the manas and buddhi, all formed from the rudimentary elements before the panchikarana. Being composed of the rudimentary elements, the subtle body is extremely fine and durable. It is not destroyed with the destruction of the gross body. At death, only the gross body is left behind. Clothed with the subtle body, the individual soul departs. It is the subtle body that conveys the individual soul, the jiva, in his migration to the other world. It endures until he attains final liberation. The subtle body is the repository, that the storehouse of whatever karmas, whatever action you have done. In those finer impressions you store there. The subtle body developed by the organs and the mind. Whatever capacity, whatever tendency, good or evil, a person acquires remain in the subtle body as potencies. It is because the impressions left on the mind by your actions, perceptions, thoughts, feelings, and desires are accumulated there in latent form. With all these contents, the subtle body attains the soul as it passes out of the gross body. In Gita, they say like a Vayur Gandha Ivashayat. How when this subtle body leaves this gross body, like from a flower, the fragrance comes out. From the flower, gently it comes out, the fragrances. So when we leave this gross body, gently the subtle body comes out, taking all those fragrances, good, evil, whatever tendencies you have. So these subtle forces, being prevalent in due course, determine the individual's journey thereafter. He is reborn with them when some of them need concrete forms for their that fruition. If you to develop that, you have desire to fulfill that, you need a body. Sometimes they get that concrete body. This subtle body is the seat of dream experience. So in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, very nice way, they told, when he dreams, a person when he dreams, he takes away a little of the impression of this all-embracing world. The waking state, you have seen, in waking state, you talked with them, you taste many foods, so you traveled in different countries, so you take some of the impressions with you and puts the gross body aside and creates a dream body in its place, revealing his radiance by his own light and dreams. In this state, the man himself becomes the light. In the dream state, it is the mind, the principal component of the subtle body, that serves as the sole instrument of experience. He is the plumber, he is the mason, he is the who cooks food. So all mind. The agency of the mind in dream experience is mentioned in the Prashna Upanishad. In this dream state, this deity, means this mind, experiences greatness. Whatever was seen, it sees again. Whatever was heard, it hears again. Whatever was perceived in different places and directions, it experiences again and again. It perceives all by becoming all that was seen or not seen, heard or not heard, perceived or not perceived, and whatever is real or unreal. That all unfulfilled things, where you wanted to travel, you in dream, you see, you went there. The taste that you never tasted, you started tasting there. The words that you want to speak, you started talking there. The causal body is the medium of the experience of dreamless sleep. In Vedanta Paribhasha, they told about that causal body. Merit, demerit, and past latent impressions remain then in deep sleep in their causal form. So as we told, causal body, it experiences the deep sleep when there is no action. No thought, no feeling, no imagination, no memory of any kind dwells in the mind. Neither pleasure nor pain, neither hope neither hope or despair, neither love nor hate sways it anymore. The ceaseless fluctuation of the mind gives way to utter stillness. Its diverse features and traits, its varied ideas, tendencies, merits, and demerits merge in a state of complete passivity and uniformity. The ego, that was the real agent behind every action, even it was as if it is also went in a deep sleep. Perfect still, nothing. It is to be noted that in deep sleep, the mind as possessed of the power of cognition subsides. In deep sleep, the mind reaches the very base of the subtle body. This is the causal body underlying the subtle. From there, the mind rises again in waking and dream states. In deep sleep, even the ego that is ever ready to assert itself disappears. In this state, in Brihadaranyaka, again, poetic language, in this state, a father is no father, a mother, no mother, worlds are no worlds, the gods, no gods, the Vedas, no Vedas. In this state, a thief is no thief. A killer of a noble Brahman, we call Brahma Hatyakari, noble Brahman is no killer, an outcast, no outcast, a monk, no monk, a hermit, no hermit. So we forget everything in that state. But still, there you feel some kind of unique blissfulness, because only a fine layer of avidya, the ajnana, the non-knowledge, it is still working there. They have two actions of avidya we call avarana and vikshepa. One covers and another diffuses many forms, create many forms. So two, one is avarana shakti, one is a vikshepa shakti. So vikshepa shakti gone, because there is ego is sleeping, mind is sleeping, nobody to create any new body, new thought, anything. But that avarana, that veil still remains. But as it very close to that main source of Atman, so it gives joy, excellent joy. So that's why when you came out from a sleep, you generally utter, I slept happily, I did not know anything. This is a kind of very fine kind of joy you get. It is to be noted, the causal body is not intrinsically blissful. In deep sleep, when all modifications of the subtle body subsides, the absolute bliss of Atman finds expression, because there is no diffusion, nothing to distract that joy. Faintly, though it may be, through the causal body, the bliss experienced in profound sleep is finer than that derived from the experience of agreeable objects in waking and dream states. Every form of delight is but the manifestation of the supreme bliss of Atman through a particular channel. So in Vedanta Paribhasha, it says, happiness is also of two kinds, relative and absolute. One is Satishaya Sukh and another is Niratishaya Sukh. Satishaya is relative Sukh, the joy you get. And Niratishaya, there is no, you just do not need anything to, that it is a spontaneous source of joy. So one is relative and another is absolute. Of this relative happiness is a particular manifestation of a modicum of bliss caused by differences in the mental mode generated by a contact with objects. Absolute bliss is Brahman alone. So when you overcome that barrier also, that last barrier, you merge yourself in the supreme consciousness, and that gives you the joy. So in Vedanta Paribhasa, chapter 8, it starts, the name of the chapter is the aim of Vedanta, the aims of life, the absolute bliss, the relative and absolute bliss. So in some point we'll discuss further from here. Someday we can discuss your that fivefold seeds. We can talk about how to overcome all those things, how to relinquish your physical appearance, physical thoughts, physical world, physical pain, physical joy, and mental suffering, mental joy, intellectual suffering. You, at some point in your life, you want to overcome all those. Relative thing I do not want. I want the absolute. Gyatva devam sarva pasha pahani shine kleshair janma mrittu prahani tasyabhidhyanas tritiyang deha bhede vishveshwarjang kevalang aptakamaha. With the knowledge of God, all fetters fall off. With the waning of ignorance, birth and death cease. Going beyond the consciousness of the body, by meditating on Him, one reaches the third state, that is to say, namely the universal lordship. All his desires are satisfied, and he becomes one without a second. Sri Ramakrishna used to talk of a king. So a king, in his palace, there are 7 gates. All each gate sits a man endowed with great power and glory. Everyone, doorkeepers kind of thing. So a stranger, a traveler first saw the first gatekeeper. So he was thinking, he came from village. He never saw a king. So is that a king? So he indicates, no, go further. Second person, again with greater glory, greater wealth, and the clothes and all those things. Is that king? No, go further. Thus, he went on. At the end, after crossing the 7 gates, he found a person sitting. He did not ask him whether he was a king or not. His presence was enough to remove all those doubts. So, when you get that, all those doubts will go. Doubts are the important thing that creates a lot of obstruction, That you see, you are that. Already it was told many times. Your teachers, your Upanishad, even your first lecture you attended in a Vedanta society, they told that one. So it would be enough. But why? Doubt. So it says that all doubt will go, and after having the vision of God, Sri Ramakrishna's word, after having the vision of God, man is overpowered with bliss. That is our goal. So, with this prayer, let us conclude today's discussion. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace.